Hey guys, my name is Garrett McLaughlin, and today I want to walk you through my favorite self-assessment for trunk rotation. And if you are a golfer, trunk rotation is so important through the golf swing, just to have that rotation to go through the golfing motion, but it's also something that, think of today, every day, whether you sit at a desk, drive in a car, or you're on a computer, typically from a postural standpoint, we tend to come into more flexion, more rounded shoulders. When we get into that position, we lose the ability to rotate and extend in the spine, which should be very detrimental to not only your golf game, but also to a healthy functioning spine. The first thing you want to look at when it comes to trunk rotation is actually self-assessing yourself to see how much range of motion you have. Are you restricted overall, both sides on the thoracic spine, or do you have different range of motion going to the left than you do going to the right, or vice versa? Because that's important from a performance and injury prevention standpoint. So my favorite self-assessment is very simple. All you need to have is a broomstick, and you can do this at home sitting in a doorway, okay? If you line yourself up in the doorway here, I'm gonna face straight on, I'm gonna cross my legs here, sit cross-legged, I'm gonna slide as close as I can to the doorway, so my shin is actually touching, but I really want to make sure that doorway is cutting me right down the middle, okay? So we're lined up evenly on both sides, because if we're offset in any way, it's going to give us a false result. So in that position, now we're going to place this broomstick, PVC pipe, whatever you have at home, right across the front of the shoulders. We want to make sure at all times we do not let this broomstick fall off the shoulder. It's going to be right up, just barely touching the throat. And then as we're up nice and tall in this position, we're just going to take a big turn and look at how much rotation we have to one side compared to the other side. So you can see for me, I'm restricted going to both sides, but it's equal. If you notice that going to the left, you can get all the way and touch the door jamb, but going to the right, you're still a few inches off. You're gonna wanna work on right-sided rotation. But if you can't touch on either side, that isn't as bad as having an asymmetric range of motion. And you're gonna wanna just work on improving thoracic or trunk rotation as a whole. So work on this self-assessment, see how you look as far as rotation from side to side. And then what I'm gonna do next is show you my favorite corrective drill to help improve thoracic rotation. Now that we self-assess trunk rotation, you have a better idea of, do you need to work on rotation to improve mobility at the spine, or do you have enough range of motion that you can go ahead and just continue to play and kind of check on this from time to time? So my favorite drill to work on if you found any restriction in your range of motion is a sideline thoracic rotation drill. So what you're gonna do is just lay on your side, knees bent. So your knees are stacked, shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked. We're in a good position here. Ankles, hips, and shoulders in this nice straight line. I'm gonna make sure I hold my top knee down with my bottom arm. And then with my top arm, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna rotate, and making sure at all times my eyes are looking at my fingertips, because I want my whole upper thoracic spine and trunk to move as one. A lot of people I see will go and just rotate their arm back, but if you think of what's going on here, it's just shoulder motion. So we want the whole body, upper body, to move as one. Eyes, head, thoracic spine. I'm gonna rotate, get as far as I can to the ground. Nice deep breath. As you exhale, typically, you should be able to get a few more degrees of motion, so really make sure you incorporate some diaphragmatic breathing in there. But you're gonna work on that. Sit in that position 30 to 60 seconds. If you notice that there was one side that was more restricted than the other, make sure you add one extra repetition of 30 to 60 seconds on that more restricted side, because you wanna even out as best as you can from side to side first. And then if you still need to work on trunk rotation as a whole, then you can continue to attack both sides equally. But that's it, guys. That's a great way to look at self-assessing trunk rotation, and a great drill to start implementing today before you get out in there and hit the golf course or at home to improve thoracic rotation, because not only will this improve your golf game, it will also set you up for more long-term success from an injury prevention standpoint. Thank you.